And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watts UK99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. If you're brand new, welcome aboard. Please like and subscribe. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate everybody's support. So the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies are about to begin the National League Division Series. First time, of course, they have ever played in the playoffs. Mets won 6 out of 13 games they played against the division-winning Phillies this year. So let's preview this series. First of all, every one of these 5 games is going to start at either 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., even on the weekdays. So for those of us who actually have a schedule and have a life, this is not exactly the greatest timing, MLB. I mean, even on the weekdays, we got to start late afternoon. Really? Just not good at all. But in game 1, Zach Wheeler, the ex-Met, will take the mound for the Phillies. Wheeler will likely win the Cy Young Award yet again, went 16-7, 2.57 ERA. And since he's starting game 1, he could potentially pitch a game 4 for Philadelphia on 3 days rest or be on full rest for game 5. And the one thing with the Mets, they have had a decent amount of success against Wheeler. So he has been in Philadelphia for 5 years now. In 15 starts against the Mets, he has a record of 5-5, a 3.56 ERA. A couple weeks ago, on September 22nd, he pitched very well against the Mets, but lost 2-1, allowed 2 runs in 7 innings. Brandon Nimmo hit a game-tying home run in the 6th. Then in game 2, the Mets got to deal with Christopher Sanchez, very good left-handed pitcher. In 2 games in Philadelphia earlier this year, he held the Mets to 3 runs over 12 innings. He's also much better at home. And then Philly will throw Aaron Nola in game 3, who can be very up or down. Now, as far as the Mets go, well, Carlos Mendoza surprised a lot of people on Friday when he announced that Kodai Senga will be starting game 1 for New York, only his second game he has pitched this season after dealing with a whole array of injuries. Now, he almost certainly will not pitch more than a couple of innings. He pitched 25 pitches in sort of a simulated situation about a week ago. I can't imagine he goes more than 3-4 innings tops. So you have to expect the Mets would follow Senga up with either David Peterson or Tyler McGill, and they'll try to get 3 or 4 innings out of them as well. But the fact is, even if Senga cannot throw an entire game for you, he deepens a Mets staff that really needs reliable pitchers. Kodai Senga is their de facto ace. When he is on with the ghost fork and his other pitches, he is almost unhittable. We know he wants to pitch. He worked hard to come back, but he's just the kind of guy where everything needs to be just right for him to pitch. Now, in game 2, it will be Luis Severino, followed by Sean Manaea and Jose Quintana in games 3 and 4 in New York, respectively. And Tyler McGill will be in the bullpen, which makes a lot of sense. And I got to be honest, I like the idea of David Peterson in the bullpen because right now, and the rosters have not come out yet for the NLDS, but the only lefty the Mets have in their pen is Danny Young. How much do you really trust him? And going against a Philly team that features Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, you need a pitcher who can get lefty sluggers out. It just makes you miss Brooks Raley all the more. Well, this year, Peterson held left-handed hitters to a .219 average and an OPS of .576. That's very good. Now, a couple of X factors in this series. Number 1, can Pete Alonso get more hits? Yes, he had one of the greatest home runs probably in New York Mets history. But is the weight off those shoulders of his? What is he going to do in this series against Philadelphia? Well, he hit very well against Philly this year. His slash line in 13 games, .277 batting average, .424 on base, .532 slugging with 3 home runs, 3 doubles, and his OPS was .956. That's pretty dang good. Number 2 is the fact that the Phillies have home field advantage. At Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies have been a juggernaut. They went 54-27 at home as opposed to just 41-40 away from Philly. And you also have to wonder about the Philadelphia pitching. All right, now the Philly they had a 95-67 record. So they took first place very easily. But in the second half, they went just 33-33. One of the reasons for that is their pitching slipped significantly. So after the All-Star break, their ERA was 4.49. That was after posting a 3.41 ERA in the first half of the season. So nearly a full run more on the ERA. So with the bullpens, you don't really need a full 1 through 8 bullpen in the playoffs. But what you really need is 4 to 5 reliable arms. Now, as far as Philadelphia goes, their bullpen was kind of in the middle with the ERA 3.94, pretty close to the Mets 4.04. And it's nowhere near what the Brewers sent out against the Mets in the wild card round. But the Phillies do have Carlos Estevez, who they acquired at the trade deadline as their closer. Jeff Hoffman, Matt Strom, Orion Kerkering, they're pretty formidable. With the Mets, you have Edwin Diaz, Jose Butto, Phil Maton, and Ryan Stanek. I know Butto and Maton had bad moments against Milwaukee, but now they have a little bit of time to recover. I'm not too worried about them. And now you could add McGill and Peterson in as well. And then you get to guys like Oscar Brazaban, Adam Ottavino, Danny Young. Those are your more emergency break-the-glass options. Because with the Mets adding Kodai Senga and Tyler McGill to the roster, 2 pitchers are going to be off the roster. So I would expect Max Kranick to be gone. That'll be a great trivia question one game. Name every Mets pitcher on the NLDS roster, and only like four of the bullpen guys pitched. But I think one of the 3 that I just mentioned, Brazaban, Ottavino, and Young would be off as well. I think Danny Young would be the most likely one to go. So that's what I'm thinking as far as that goes. As far as the prediction goes, this series, these 2 teams, they were very evenly matched in the regular season. I think the same thing happens. And again, it's not necessarily an advantage to have a bye. We've seen a lot of situations where these teams who have the first round bye, they come out a little bit rusty, and the team that's won the wild card series, they just have that mojo going, and they're able to get an early advantage in that series. So I'll tell you what, I am actually going to predict the New York Mets win this series, and I'm going to say they win it in 5 games. That's right. I say Philadelphia, good as they've been at home, they do have a tendency to lose series in their own ballpark, and I say it's going to happen again. So give me the Mets in 5, but I think it's going to be a heck of a series either way. All right, everybody. Well, enjoy the series. If you've got a prediction, put it right down there in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.